Hail to the king, baby.
So I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube thing. I had the stream set for an hour later than I intended, but here we are live at 9 p.m., not 10 p.m. as I had it scheduled for another episode of Chill and Chat with Michael B. And tonight we get to talk about something thanks to another content creator. This is something I wasn't going to talk about because I really didn't have enough reason to talk about. I didn't have any justification. But thanks to my good friend, The Rexer Show, hey, now we can talk about it. Now it's out there in the ether. So thank you very much for the content, sir. So tonight we're going to talk about Arcade1Up apparently sending Media One Up, Iconic Arcade, a cease and desist. So we're going to talk about where this rumor came from, at least where I heard it from. And full disclosure, I did hear this not last Friday, but the Friday before. And there was nothing really to go on with it, but I'll tell you about how all that came about. I'll also tell you about what I think could be probable and why it's probably not probable. And we'll get some information from you guys here in the chat to see what you think as well. I've got a poll up right now asking people, do you believe the rumor that Arcade1Up sent a cease and desist order to Iconic Arcade? Right now, yes is winning with 43%. You do believe it. No is coming in second with 31%, and 26% are undecided. So really, the undecided vote at 57%, undecided no is, leading the pack right now, but yes is the clear winner at 43%. So let's talk about this. So I heard this rumor just over a week ago. I was actually talking to Stephen Haywood, who you may remember was on the Retro Buzz. This was a show that originally was sponsored by Arcade1Up. That sponsorship fell through, and Arcade1Up then turned their sponsorship towards the One Up Weekly with Retro Ralph and Justin Console Kits. Well, anyways, I had reached out to Steven because my buddy P-Dubs had told me that he had caught Steven, the Tech Buzz, saying some stuff about us in the Rexer Show's chat. And I said, oh, that sucks. I thought Steven was my friend. So I reached out to Steven to ask him about it. Now, I will tell you, I don't watch the Rexer Show. It's not because I think it's bad content. It's not because he says things about me. I just think he's a hypocrite who has low moral standards. And yeah, I just don't like him. I don't have much respect for the guy. So I don't watch his stuff. Anyways, I refuse to watch it. I haven't watched anything in like 4 years. So I didn't watch it, and I just went off what I was told. So I reached out to Steven, and I was like, do we have beef? Because that's how I like to handle things. I like to talk to people, have a conversation if there's an issue, and, not just let it fester or talk bad about other people behind their back. I like to talk to them directly. And Steven told me, no, there's no issue. This is being taken out of context. He even sent me screenshots of what he said, and he was, pretty adamant. He was like, this is one of the reasons I left the home arcade space, was all this bullshit back and forth drama, and he didn't want any of it. And I had to apologize because I went on what I was told by somebody else instead of actually doing my research and realizing that maybe I was overreacting. So anyways, full apology to Steven. But during that conversation, out of nowhere, Stephen Haywood puts it out to me. Oh, did you hear Arcade1Up received, no, Iconic Arcade received a cease and desist from Arcade1Up. And that's why the pre-orders got taken down off the Iconic Arcade website. And I said, I didn't know that. But let's be honest here. This is just a rumor coming from one person. There's no validity to this. I hadn't heard anything from anybody else. I then discussed it with other people. Then I asked them their opinions. So I play walkabout mini golf with a bunch of people like my buddy Jason Little Alien, James Hates Everything, Sexy MG, who really is sexy. And Real Zim was there, Rebel. So we talked about it. And I said, yeah. So Stephen Haywood told me this rumor, take it with a grain of salt, that Iconic Arcade apparently received a cease and desist. And I actually heard some really good counterpoints about it from the people that I talked to about it, because they're the only people I talked to about it. I heard things like, well, that doesn't really make sense. Why would Iconic Arcade receive a cease and desist and like no other company? You think about it, Evercade just did the alpha. Why didn't Arcade1Up send a cease and desist to Evercade about it? Or what do they actually have to cease and desist? People have been making home arcade recreation products for years. This isn't a novel idea or anything like that. So it just didn't really make sense to me. It was unsubstantiated. So I didn't really follow up anything more with it other than that. I mean, that's just bad journalism to just go out there with a rumor based on nothing. Now, I'm not saying that Rexer didn't have any information or anything like that. According to She Lion Gaming and other people, apparently he has an NDA with Arcade1Up. So maybe he has inside information that we don't have. So maybe he has validity to this rumor because of his NDA with Arcade1Up that he reported to She Lion Gaming that he has. I don't know. But what I will tell you is I didn't have any reason to believe it because I don't know Steven. I don't know if Steven knows anything. Like, why would I just make a video on it or talk about it like it's fact when these are serious matters? Like, you can't just go out and report on this stuff. Like, don't you have any integrity? Like, there's a thing about journalistic integrity. Sometimes we fuck up, we jump the gun, but something of this matter, we're gonna get information. Like, I talked to James about it, and James told everybody in his last stream, like, James is more litigious than most of us. Most of us are just like, oh, whatever, I'll just keep living my life. James reached out to the company and asked for an official answer. He got nothing. No one said anything. And like, I tried to talk to John D recently about a different matter. I reached out to John D about going to the Cleveland Gaming Classic because I know the Cleveland Gaming Classic really wanted John D to be there. They're planning a big event, and they thought it would be great to have Iconic Arcade there. But I don't know what to say. John finally got back to me after not talking to me for a long time, and he said, hey, sorry, I won't be able to go to Cleveland, and I just want to be honest with you. I'm staying off social media right now. I don't want to deal with all the negativity and bullshit for my mental health. And I said, that's fair enough. This place is quite toxic, and it really can be. I understand what you're saying there, C Marvel. Like, it's a bar top cab, but that's one of Arcade1Up's big business models is their countercade cabs. It's, what they do. They make more countercades than they make XL arcades. So I understand where you're coming from, but yeah. In Brooklyn, I would agree with that, but you still can order the cabinet. The link is broken from the Iconic Arcade webpage. The VMI webpage still works. It's still accepting orders. I can send you a link to it right now, and you can pre-order in the US and Canada. I don't know about anywhere else. So they're still taking orders. Just for some reason, the link is broken from the Iconic Arcade website. But we'll talk about that. Social media toxic? No, say it ain't so, Michael B. I know, right? Everybody's trying to start shit. Anyways, let me go back on this a little bit and let's talk about, we already know that this rumor, for me, the first time I heard it and where it started for me was from Stephen Haywood. I don't know where he heard it from, but that's where it came from in my capacity. I talk to the guys I play Walkabout Mini Golf with. I actually didn't share this with, the Vacation Alliance, which is what a lot of people call the Illuminati, which is my chat that I have on Facebook with P-Dubs, Nostalgia, Carl, Justin Console Kits, 19K Fox, and B Kong. So not in there. Realism, what's happening, brother? Get in there. That's one of my golf buddies. So we'll go into this in a little bit more detail now. So that's where the rumor came from, unsubstantiated. I haven't heard from John. I don't have any access to Arcade1Up. I had no way to confirm it, so I just kept living my life. So then, obviously this gets brought up yesterday in a video, and now we can talk about it because it's already out there in the ether. Even if it's unsubstantiated, at least we can have the conversation now, and I get to make a video on it. So that's cool. All right, so let's talk about why this rumor seems so likely. Obviously, the first thing is if you go to the iconic arcade website, like Brooklyn just talked about, where there's smoke, there's fire. Let me bring it up for you guys now. One second, guys. My internet is being a little slow. So if you go to the iconic arcade website, you go into Canada here, and you go down and you click on one of the cabs. What happened before is if you clicked on one of the cabs, it linked to the VMI website where you could place your pre-order. But if you click on them, nothing happens. Now, I did reach out to John D., I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and asked him about this and never got a response. I never heard anything back from him. So if you take this rumor about the cease and desist and you apply it to this, you would say that makes sense, right? Like, obviously that's what happened. Arcade1Up issued a cease and desist, and now that's why you can't pre-order these cabs. But you can, in fact, pre-order the cabs. If you just give me a second, I'll show you guys. I just got to get one of my videos up with the links. Now, I'm not Danny, so, I'm not going to post my video in somebody else's stream to try to get people to watch it. But if you go in to one of the direct links, which I still have, it's also on my Discord. I probably could have got it quicker that way. So I'm going to go down here to my live stream I did a couple weeks ago. Here it is. And just give me a minute to bring this up here, guys. Again, not the best YouTuber. But if you go directly in, here we go. Hold on. Share screen. Entire screen. But if you go directly into the VMI website, not the Iconic Arcade website, you can still pre-order in the Canada and US. You just need the direct website, which you can Google. So it's not that they're not taking orders. The link is broken on the Iconic Arcade website. So is it broken because they're distancing themselves while the cease and desist is going on? Maybe. But if a cease and desist was actually there, you would assume they would shut down all pre-orders. So this page would be down. You wouldn't be able to go in and make your pre-order, which you can do. And there's 19K Fox sharing as well. There's the US one. So yeah, you can literally still pre-order these. Just for some reason, the link is broken from the Iconic Arcade website. So keep that in mind. Yes, exactly, Brooklyn. Like, you got to take all factors into place here. Like, it's really easy if you hate a company and you hate a person. Obviously, the content creator that made the stream yesterday obviously hates John D, and he hates Arcade1Up products. So there's an inherent bias there for him to take the information and tie A to B without looking at things through the entire scope. We're trying to look at things through the entire scope. It's called journalistic integrity. And they're posting the link on TikTok. So here's the other thing. They're posting it directly. You can still order. So there you go. So here we go. On top of that, let me take that down. There's the other thing that doesn't really make sense about this. And I did a video on this as well. I'm going to jump the gun on this. This is what I'm guilty of. Oh, no, sorry. I put in the wrong thing. You're going to have to give me a minute, guys. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. So we're going to go back, search. There we go. Dead air, which you guys love. So the other thing that doesn't make sense is if Iconic Arcade were currently in a cease and desist, then why, after news of the cease and desist was out there, like after Stephen Haywood told me about it, would they then go and do a sponsorship with Arc System Works? So let's bring this up and take a look at this. You think about when this news broke, and in relation to when I was told earlier in the day, later that same day after the news broke that Iconic Arcade had received a cease and desist from Arcade1Up, this news came out that they were going to be the official sponsor and preparing Double Dragon cabs for Arc Systems Works finals of their world tour. So it seems really strange that a company that received a cease and desist would then move forward with an announcement on a, product sponsorship like this and, lead to a potential future Double Dragon cab, in the words at the same time after they received an official cease and desist order from Arcade1Up. Does that make sense? Like, to me, that's not the actions of a company that are reeling from a cease and desist. Like, yeah, there you go. Well, Michael B. the Game Genie, that's a very good point. If you can still pre-order it by the end of business Monday, well, no. I digress. You're acting like this news broke when Rexer announced it. This news broke, well, at least to me, the same Friday Glenn did the what is it called? The reunion for the Retro Buzz on Kicking It Old School. So this is old news. If the cease and desist was issued, it was actually issued at least before then. And if that's the case, that pre-order would have been taken down a very long time ago, and the company wouldn't be sharing it on TikTok. I mean, the smoking bullet here that gives any credence to this is back to the Iconic Arcade website. The fact that you can't click and get to the pre-orders. That's literally the only thing. Jaron, I will answer you very clearly about this. We do not report on unsubstantiated rumors, especially when it's something serious like this, like a company taking legal action, which we can get sued on. We don't want to come out and get sued. Most of us are doing this for a hobby, so we really like not getting sued. So we don't want to jump the gun and make a claim that a company has in fact issued a cease and desist unless we have proof. Like a company coming out with something because something's leaked online, we do a little bit of due diligence there. We make sure that it's from a reputable site or there's some validity to it. A lot of times we've been burned with fake images going up on the internet and believing them. But yeah, other than that, hey, TikTok thing was a joke. That is where Arcade1Up posts. Maybe. What's happening, Eric? Good to see you. Maybe. Well, like it's like when he came out with that fake flyer there a while ago that they were doing Street Fighter Third Strike, and I can't remember what the other cab was, and he tried to pass that off as realistic. That John was going windshield to windshield, putting those flyers on cars in Vegas. Sometimes they're just bullshit rumors, and you end up looking like an asshole afterwards, right? So, anyways, guys, I mean, that's the root of it. Now, is it entirely possible that Arcade1Up sent a cease and desist to Iconic Arcade? I don't know the legality of it. I don't know what their claim would be. Like, the conversation I had with the guys was, it doesn't make sense. I don't think there's a trademark on making recreation arcade cabinets, like, unless they're using the exact design. That's the only thing I could think of. The only other thing I could think of where this actually has some, it has some validity is the fact that John D previously worked for Arcade1Up, and the cease and desist could be that he's using information that he got while working at Arcade1Up, because we know that obviously he's using the Capcom license, which I think he had never secured officially, because he was in the meetings with Scott Bacharach when Scott Bacharach secured the license for Capcom, because he was representing Capcom at the time. So I don't think it could be that, because he never secured the license for Arcade1Up for Capcom. But like, John was involved in a lot of other things too, like ordering the screens, the fact that they're using the 19-inch BOE monitors, maybe different parts, maybe a certain manufacturing company. If they did issue a cease and desist, maybe it'd be grounds on that he's using the same. From what I understand, he's using like the same factories, using the same materials. Maybe that's what it is. Like, I don't know. I just don't see any validity to a cease and desist here. I mean, again, I go back to other products. Like, did Arcade1Up issue a cease and desist to Neo Geo when they made the MVSX? I mean, essentially, that's the same product as an Arcade1Up. Why didn't they issue a cease and desist to Unico at that point? Or, At Games coming out with the Killer Instinct cab. Obviously, Arcade1Up had a Killer Instinct cab. Why not issue a cease and desist at that point? Like, to me, I don't really understand it. And part of that might be due to the fact I don't really understand the full legal ramifications. Is it possible? Yeah, it's entirely possible. Is it a valid thing? No. Until either Arcade1Up or Media1Up reports on this, there's no validity. Like, nobody can take anything. All people are doing is taking a rumor and applying points to it based on their biases. Yeah. Stockjack knows it's called intellectual property. It's one of the really tough things. We found out during our interview with Wonderland Pinball, that's one of the problems Jerry had with Shuffle Golf. They argued that Shuffle Golf was intellectual property of Arcade1Up, and they did send a cease and desist to Jerry on that product, and that's why it got took down. And Arcade1Up shouldn't have anything to complain about, because now they're using 17-inch 16:9 monitors, where on these classic cabs, you're going to get a 13.58 playable screen. That is not great. Yeah. Yeah, JJ McQuaid, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it is all about future profits. I don't know. Like, to me, Arcade1Up, the Dream Killers, maybe it's just a desperate attempt to halt competition. But then again, like, there, if I'm not mistaken, I know in Canada anyways, there's anti-monopoly rules, and it would basically seem like they're trying to set up a monopoly for this brand of product. And I don't know about the US if they have anti-monopoly rules. I don't know how that works, but I mean, you can't issue a cease and desist just to stop your competition from coming out with a competing product. It doesn't work like that way. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jason, that is actually Capcom. What is it? Beat 'em up bundle that's playing there in the background. One of the cool things about my X Arcade, I know you can do this with other systems like Arcade and stuff like that. But what I've been doing is I've got it connected to Steam, so I can play these collections now. So not only can I play the arcade games with my X Arcade, I can also play online with friends. I've also got a bunch of other arcade collections, like I've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. Now I can play the 2 arcade games with friends online like that. Yeah, I got to give a huge thank you to James Hates Everything. I had a chance to watch some of his stream earlier. He went through the legal documents on something else, And I'm sure James is the person to come back to. Like, I don't really give a shit about this. I don't care about the legal drama between companies, what happens and stuff like that. Really doesn't mean much to me about that stuff. Like, I more prefer, like, just, normal things, like looking at Arcade1Up coming out with a new riser that's eerily similar to, of course, G.I. Joel's riser, or Arcade1Up supposedly screwing Glenn. Like, those are the kind of things like I like talking about. But when you get into the legal mumbo jumbo of cease and desist and all that works, I defer to James. Go check him out. He enjoys this a lot more than I do, and he seems to know a lot more about it. So there you go. Yeah, I'm really excited for that T2 Terminator 2D No Fate action platformer. There you go. I'm looking forward to it. See, Eric Perez says you also have monopoly laws. So I would imagine an argument to any cease and desist or any legal court action from a company offering a similar product is you cannot have a monopoly on this product. Other people are allowed to make similar products. Yeah, Bobby. So the thing was, just for anybody tuning in late and catching up on this. So what happened was about a week ago, before Glenn's Kicking It Old School with the Retro Buzz reunion, I reached out to Stephen Haywood because my buddy Patrick had told me that Haywood was in there to one of Rex's streams, which I don't watch, saying things about me. And instead of doing my due diligence and going watching the stream, because I refuse to, because the guy is a hypocrite with low moral character, I decidedly just reached out to him and decided to be a man and be like, hey, man, are we cool? And, we had a back and forth conversation about that. And I was completely in the wrong there. I should have done my homework. But he blurted out to me, Arcade1Up sent a cease and desist to Iconic Arcade, and that's why it's taken down off the website. So I assume, however, from that point, that got back to the Rexer show. And then he assumed, because Haywood had told me, that everybody knew about it, which wasn't the case. The only people I discussed it with were a couple friends in Walkabout Mini Golf, which, if I'm correct on the game, was Jason Little Alien. It was James Hates Everything. It was Real Zim. Rebel was there, Sexy MG, and I don't know who else was there other than that. But like, P-Dubs wasn't there. Didn't share it with Vacation Alliance. Nothing like that. So that's where it is. And the truth of the matter is, nobody can substantiate the rumor on whether or not Arcade1Up did send a cease and desist. As far as I know, the only person that told me about it was Stephen Haywood. John D hasn't said anything to me about it. He didn't respond when I asked him why the link was broken several weeks ago, which I've talked about in my videos already. And, no one from Arcade1Up knows anything. So that's where we're to. Yeah, I saw that. Sony tried the same thing when Arcade1Up tried to buy Activision. Yeah, check out James' channel. James is a good guy. He'll follow this. If there is any validity to this rumor about Arcade1Up sending a cease and desist, I don't know how the cease and desist stuff works. Like, either a company's going to have to come out and actually, announce it that, yes, we did it, or they're going to have to deny it on Iconic Arcade's side, or legal action is going to have to go further than just a cease and desist. Because all a cease and desist is just a stern warning. It's just a letter. It was like, hey, we really want you to stop this. But in order for it to be legal action, then it would become public record. Public record's a funny thing. It's like when someone sues a company, like the Rexer Show did, and then he loses drastically. There's a public record of him losing, which, if you go check out Reddit, the Arcade1Up Reddit, my good buddy Neo Hyper 64 covered in detail, where despite what anybody says, it's on public record that he lost that case with prejudice, which means that not only did he lose, but he also lost it at fault. So I think he was possibly, possibly responsible for the legal fees of Arcade1Up. And maybe that's how he got the NDA that he bragged to She Lion Gaming that he has with Arcade1Up. Who knows? Here's James. This is the person we want to talk to about this. Exactly. It's just a threat. There's no formal activity or anything like that. And here's the other thing we got to remember: Arcade1Up is a company that has openly stated that they're having cash flow problems. Iconic Arcade is owned by Lenovo. When it comes down to it at the end of the day, do you think Lenovo is going to feel a ton of pressure because this smaller company sends them a cease and desist? It's fine to go out there and say we're the fourth largest video game manufacturer in the world. But when you actually put, you know, two things next to each other, Lenovo versus Arcade1Up, small fries, cash flow issues that they've openly talked about in public. Yeah, I agree with that. Charlie Chuck, James, incredible guy, great content, horrible wrench distributor. Like, literally will let anybody have a wrench on his channel. Hey, Chaotic, what's happening, brother? That's the other thing. Like, we don't, there's really not a lot to go on here. Like, we don't know anything about a cease and desist. Right now, it's just a rumor. There's a rumor that there's a cease and desist from Arcade1Up to Iconic Arcade. That's why the link is broken on their website to pre-order. But like we already covered, the VMI pages are still up and you can still order these cabs. There's no problem pre-ordering. There's no stoppage to the pre-orders. The link is broke from the website. If there was a real cease and desist and a real problem, you wouldn't be able to pre-order. So I don't know where we go from here because, like, realistically, we don't have any information. We don't know what the cease and desist could be over, what Arcade1Up's potential problem could be with the actions of Iconic Arcade. Like, could it be a dispute over the Capcom license? Could Arcade1Up still believe that they have exclusivity over the Capcom license? If that's the case, why were they okay with Evercade releasing the Capcom Alpha cabs? Doesn't matter about size, like C Marvel brought up earlier. I don't know. So that could be one reason. The other reason is intellectual property that John D may have garnered while working with Arcade1Up that he's now utilizing on this new product. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Like, there's literally not a lot of information that we can go on here. There's not much to talk about other than the fact there's a rumor out there. And for some reason, obviously somebody with a bias is trying to take that rumor and make it valid and weaponize it to attack a company and a person he doesn't like. That's my 2 cents on it. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right, BT Game Night. There's no value to this unless an announcement is made or like the actual pre-orders are taken down. That's the only way we're going to see any truth to this. Everybody can come up here, speculate, get on whatever shit they want to get on with. It doesn't really matter. None of it has any value, literally, until something official happens. Will you, though, Glenn? Will you? Weren't you supposed to have your Kickstarter up by the end of February? I don't see it, Glenn. What's happening? Is there a problem? Is there major delays? Is there funding problems? See, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Something can get taken out of context so easily, and then people try to make something that doesn't exist. Now, Glenn, I'm sure Steven told you the same thing he told me about the cease and desist, but like, does anybody have any proof? And again, when is your pre-order going up? 100% right, BT Game Night. 100%. Now, at the same time, I am pretty excited about Glenn's Build a Kate FU. He told me something today that made me very happy. And I will say a personal thanks to Glenn for going out of his way to make this process as easy as possible, not just for you guys in the US, but your proud Canadian friends, because believe me, despite everything that's going on in the world, we're still friends. I don't support people booing the national anthem at these events. I think it's so stupid. It's missing the point. Glenn is a good guy. He's doing good shit, and I'm excited to support him. Soon, soon, there we go. But I'm not going to tell you what Glenn told me today because right now There's no validity to it. We don't talk about things unless there's a reason to talk about it. Or, it's something that could be possible, and then we state it. It could be possible. Well, with Glenn's thing, I think it is possible. I'm really excited, but it probably doesn't apply to everybody here in the chat. I'm going to send Glenn a cease and desist for making his current Tron sticks or flight sticks until he makes a bigger flight stick that's more closer to the original Tron joystick. That's my cease and desist. I believe you. I believe you. Yeah. And here's the other thing, guys. We got time on this. If you do hear this news and you do want to believe it, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to dissuade you from thinking that there could be absolutely a cease and desist. No one knows. There's no information to go one way or the other. But that's the cool thing about this pre-order. There's lots of time left. You can wait till more information comes up. Yes. 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 Actually, I can even bring it up. P-Dubs heard about it for the last time last night. I will be 100% honest with you. Again, I've stated this several times, but I'll state it again. I do not watch the Rexer show because he's a hypocrite who does many of the things that he accuses other people of doing. He's also a person with low moral character and just overall a really awful guy. So I don't watch him. I get most of my news secondhand from P-Dubs. And P-Dubs was really upset last night because he is accused of knowing something and being part of something that he literally knew nothing about. This is not something I discussed with P-Dubs. I can't quantify whether or not anybody else talked to him about it. But if the rumor is coming directly, to Rex or from Stephen Haywood saying everybody knew about it, the only person who knew about it was me and the people I talked to in Walkabout Mini Golf about it, which P-Dubs wasn't one of those people. And that doesn't mean everybody. And also, it doesn't mean it's true because one person said it. Rights Retrocade, $6.99 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. The proof is in the pudding, like the kind of pudding they serve to keep the wards calm and chill. Thank you very much, brother. John J. Liar. Okay. And you're entitled to your opinion, man. I literally don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me. That's the cool thing about the internet. I can come up here, act like an absolute idiot, and I can say whatever I want. And it's up to you whether or not you like me. And at the end of the day, it's really not going to change my life very much. I get a great life. I got lots of fun games to play, lots of cool things to do. I got an amazing wife who absolutely adores me and lets me do all this shit. I'm bulletproof, baby. Literally, it doesn't matter what you think of me. No, I know. I know. But seriously, man, anybody can say whatever they want. I don't have a problem with people having issues with me. I like to make jokes. On Super Game Room Dudes the other night, I made a joke about how Nostalgia gets all his stuff for free. And that's the joke. I get a majority of the stuff I review for free. So does P-Dubs. A lot of us do. It's because these companies reach out to us and send it. And if that's something that's wrong to you, well, that's wrong. Watch somebody who buys this stuff. No one cares. This is all easy, man. Doc Mario says, I stopped watching the Rexer show. Such a consistently angry man, so demeaning his opinion, and his opinion is just as bad. No one says you're a piece of shit as endearing as Mike. Thank you very much, Rights Retrocade. I know this is an awesome hat. It's wicked. Yeah, literally, what can you take away from me? I have had someone come up to me and they were like, aren't you worried about your credibility? No, this is not my livelihood. I have a job. I have an amazing family. I have a great life. This is all fun to me. If you don't think I'm credible, shucks. I know, Dr. Torque. I know. Thank you very much, BT Game Night. Yeah, Messiah, like you can get in on this too. So, uh, just we're going to clue up in a little bit, but I just want to go over it again for anybody who joined late. The whole story is about a week and a half ago, right before Glenn's Retro Show, did Kicking It Old School reunion for the Retro Buzz. I got a message from P Dubs telling me that Stephen Haywood was maybe talking poorly about me and others in one of Rexer's videos. And instead of doing my homework, because I refused to watch the Rexer show again, because he's a hypocrite with low moral character, I just took that as gospel and then asked the person, which adults do, hey, do we have some kind of issue? And he openly told me, no, sent me screenshots and proved I was wrong, which I should have done my due diligence on and found out for myself, but I refused to watch that guy's videos. So then me and Steven were talking, and he randomly tells me that Media One Up, Iconic Arcade, received a cease and desist, and that's why the link is down off their website. And I said, good to know. I didn't really think anything more of it than that. That's one person's opinion. That's how rumors are started. One person says something, and then it spreads like broken telephone. The only people I talked to about it were close friends that I play mini golf with regularly. Again, Jason Little Alien, Real Zim, Rebel, James Hates Everything, MG, and we kind of debated on whether or not it was true, and we all kind of came to the fact that, like, it doesn't seem like it makes sense. So then, of course, it gets put out there in the ether. It's not something I would have talked about. Gets put out there in the ether last night because Rexer makes a video, accuses everybody of knowing about it and secretly hiding it like it's some kind of conspiracy. And I say, thank you for bringing it to light, because now you've put it out there. I can talk about it. And the truth of the matter is, there's points both ways. But at the end of the day, there's no way to prove anything is true or untrue until one of these companies makes an official statement. And Messiah, you'll love this. The only person who might know whether or not it's true is the Rexer Show, because as is documented, he has disclosed to She Lion Gaming that he has an NDA with Arcade1Up. So maybe he is the one with inside knowledge and not us. I'm trying. I'm trying. Yes, the same one, Messiah. Exactly. Gramps Arcade, I haven't seen John D or DMAC on YouTube since CES. Also, Iconic Arcade and John D haven't confirmed the Double Dragon cab either. Seems a bit odd. Yeah, well, I mean, Arcade1Up have gone out and shown precedent that you don't need to be out there and you don't need to advertise unless you have something to advertise. I take that more as they're waiting until their next official announcement. Now, there is no official announcement of the Double Dragon cab, but there was an official announcement of the sponsorship after this cease and desist was supposedly sent. So if the cease and desist was sent and it had any weight, any gravity towards the situation, that sponsorship wouldn't have been announced. So yeah, that's it, guys. I don't want to keep you too much longer than that. I know these usually go an hour, but I'm going to break precedent because I've been spending most of the day with a game called Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge on the PSVR 2. I thought I was close to finishing it, but I apparently got a lot more work to do. So I'm going to go work on that. Just wanted to kind of put this out there in the ether. If there were any questions, tell you everything I knew, make some points for the possibility that this could be real. There could be a cease and desist, and also talk about why it's kind of silly, because there's all these other things out there that kind of refute it. So you can take this information, do whatever you want with it. At the end of the day, we're not going to know anything until either the pre-order, which is still up, the VMI pre-orders get taken down, or there's an official announcement from one of these companies, or a cease and desist moves past a stern letter and becomes actual legal action. So there you go. Yeah, I agree. I was a little burnt out on it last night because it felt like I was doing the same 3 stages over and over again, Brooklyn, but I was playing the game wrong. I unlocked the Tails part today and I opened up some new areas and it just blew up the game for me. And I love the way the gunplay and mechanics work with the gunplay. Excellent game. Yeah, I agree. I'm sending Glenn a cease and desist because he never stops selling. He comes into streams and tells people to F you. Never stops selling. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while tonight. Did Arcade1Up send a cease and desist to Iconic Arcade? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? There's no legitimacy to this. It's just a rumor, and we'll wait to see what happens. Anyways, guys, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me this Sunday night. I don't think I'm going to be live tomorrow night because, holy shit, John Cena turned heel last night. I think I'm going to watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Anyways, have a wonderful night, everybody. F you and F this rumor. Goodbye. I've had enough about Magic Sword, okay? Everybody acts like Magic Sword is this amazing game. It is a setup for the far superior King of Dragons and the even more far superior Knights of the Round. I've had enough of this Magic Sword shilling. There's a rumor out there. Everybody knows King of Dragons and Knights of the Round are better games, and the Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of Mysteria, those games are even better than those. So stop shilling Magic Sword.